Happy Wednesday! Welcome back to Kevin Toll Reads. Today I have the book review of Better Off Dead by Lee and Andrew Child. This was published in 2021. It is number 26 in the Jack Reacher series. It's the second book in the Andrew and Lee Child era. It is a step up from the previous entry, The Sentinel. It is not without its own flaws, though, and we'll get into that. So the summary of the story. Reacher, again, is thrust into one of these situations that he always finds himself in. And he is helping a woman named Michaela Fenton. She is a former FBI agent on a mission to find her twin brother, Michael, who disappeared under mysterious circumstances. And she feels like he is in some kind of criminal type situation. And lo and behold, kind of the kingpin of this kind of underground crime kind of family is a man named Dodonker, and he's kind of this mysterious kind of Kaiser Soze type figure. And so Reacher is intrigued by her story and her plight, and then obviously at the beginning he has to make a decision: does he help, does he walk away, type thing. It's a little more cumbersome than that, but that's the gist of the story. You also have a return of Special Agent Walwork. He was the FBI kind of logistics information tech that Reacher used in the Sentinel. And he's back and plays a small role here where he's giving Reacher intel as he tries to help Michaela. And so there's a lot that happens that's beyond that, but I don't want to get into any spoilers here. So let's talk about what I liked. There were several things I liked. I felt like Reacher was sort of back to his normal personality and was portrayed a little better than what he was in the previous entry, The Sentinel. I don't know if that comes to Lee Child having a little more heavy-handed in this novel. Again, the rumor is that Lee was going to help kind of facilitate his brother Andrew's ascension into this story writing of Reacher. And there's 4 books out now with a 5th book coming out, and The Sentinel and Better Off Dead was going to be the collab between Lee and Andrew, and then he was going to let Andrew take the reins in the following entries. And so it felt like Reacher was better in this one, definitely. He's got more attention to detail. There's more strategy. He's using his mind and his muscle. And so it just felt like more normal Reacher, but yet he had that cold, methodical, personality as well that comes out, and I thought some of the fight scenes were good, and it just seemed more kind of old school Reacher in a way. I liked the Fenton character, Michaela Fenton. I think she's a complex and dynamic character. She has physical disabilities, and so that also helped kind of play up the dynamics around her character development. This is a very quick entry. It's about 100 pages less than a normal Reacher book, which is around 450. This is like 350. And so the pacing was phenomenal. I mean, I thought it was really good pacing-wise. And I thought there was a lot of action. I thought this is definitely heavy on the action, less on the character development, but I did still feel like Fenton was a very dynamic character. Dodonker, I thought, was also kind of a decent shadow, mysterious crime person as well, because it's fast-paced and they don't get into a lot of the character development, so they kind of kept things vague, but it only kind of ratchets up the intrigue a little bit. And so I thought that was actually done pretty well. I don't know if that was by design or that was just the luck of the draw and myself as the reader just kind of reading it that way, but it worked. Now, in terms of what I disliked, it's entertaining, but it's not anything new. It's kind of the same formula that you get with a lot of Reacher books in the series, but it didn't have the draws of some of the other things, whether it's character development or really cool fight scenes or some type of kind of mystery that has to be figured out type thing that's really done really well, that overshadows kind of the outline, the cookie cutter that some of these books can be. And you really didn't have that in this one, so it kind of felt a little assembly line, so to speak. And then I think at times the plot, it's doesn't have the depth that you see in some of the other entries. Again, we're talking it's 100 pages less than the typical, and I keep looking up there where all my books, the Reacher books are, but it's about 100 pages less than the typical Reacher novel, which definitely will cut down on the author's ability to get really into the details. But it definitely focused on the action, which it worked in that regard for me. It kept me entertained. Again, if I'm not like really feeling, the book, it's not going to be, a 4.5, 5-star for me. As long as they don't go on for 800 pages, I'm fine with that. And I think this works in that regard. In terms of scores, I give this a 3.9. I mean, obviously it's good. It's not great. I looked on Goodreads. Again, I don't put a lot of thought into that, but after the fact, it's a 3.8. So I'm probably right there with the majority of the others and how they feel. We're still kind of polarized. When I looked, I also, after I did my notes and put together what I wanted to speak about here, I looked on some of the Goodreads comments, and that can take you down a rabbit hole in and of itself, but there's still some polarization of people. There's some people like, hey, this is actually a good one, so enjoy, and don't listen to the negative comments. And there's still, diehard fans that are out there like, this is not the same Reacher. This is closer. So I got to give Andrew Child credit there in that regard. Again, I don't know how heavy-handed Lee was in this writing, but nevertheless. But not to belabor the point, Lee Child and Andrew Child, Better Off Dead, a 3.9 out of 5. Definitely a step above the previous entry, The Sentinel. That's a review. I hope you're having a great Wednesday, and I will talk to you later. Thanks.